स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We are in the second chapter, studying the 27th verse. Before entering into the proper subject, we shall chant two verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachadoramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We had already taken up the study of the 27th verse in the second chapter. We had gone forward to some extent studying the meaning and the deeper meaning of this verse. What is this 27th verse which Lord Krishna is advising Arjuna? Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmat apariharyerte natvam shochitum arhasi. Now we shall chant this verse. I am going to chant this verse. You can repeat it after me. The 27th verse in the second chapter. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmadapariharyerthe tasmadapariharyerthe natvam shochitumarhasi natvam shochitumarhasi. The simple meaning of this verse is one who is born. Janma dhruvam. So, one who is born, jatasya. Jata means janma, to be born. He, dhruvam, for him, very definite, sure, is mrityu, death. Then what about people who die? Mritasya cha, for one who is dead, janma dhruvam, birth is certain. Therefore, O Arjuna, you, arhasina, should not shochitum, grieve, should not worry, should not be depressed. Apariharyate arthe, over this inevitable fact. Because death is certain for one who is born, and birth is certain for one who is dead. Therefore, you should not grieve over this inevitable fact. Now, many of the verses now we are studying, we are hearing the word death again and again and again. We are dealing with the death. That's why you can see when there is funeral and other time when the death happens in the house, they study the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Because that is the right state of mind when you can understand and learn to face the inevitable. That's why during the funerals or something, the Pandits will ask you to study, or they themselves will chant this second verse, few of these verses, and they will give you the meaning. But here we are going into the deeper aspect of all these verses. We are not waiting for the death of some near and dear one or the friends to happen. Only then we will go for that. No. Even before that, we are preparing, we are understanding. See, it is just like in our families, we parents train our children to face only success in life. All of us. Whether you are in the position of a parent or when you are a child, your parents or you yourself prepared yourself for success. Never has anyone prepared themselves or the parents have prepared the children for failures. Because you should note, life is not a bed of roses. More things, difficulties will come to us in our life. When a study was done in USA, in that study they included a lot of people from USA, also in Canada. They gave them diaries, and that psychologist and also a great scientist, he asked them to write on one side with the date the number of positive things happening in your life and the number of negative things happening in your life. When he afterwards took the result of all those so many thousands of people, the incidences in their life, they had noted down in the diary. Finally, what was the result? He saw that 80% of incidences in everybody's life, we get negative things, challenges, difficulties. Only only 10% you get positive things, success and good things in your life. He got some special award for that. What is the speciality of him discovering that 80% of all your, or 90% of all your, 98% of all your life is full of negativities and only 10% or something is positivity? Should he get some reward for that? No, that is not the reason for the reward. Then there was one more conclusion, one more study which he found out, that is, out of that, those people who succeed in their life are one who takes cognizant of the fact of this 8 or 10% of the positivities in your life and then take that and go forward in their life. They have success, they come up in life. Those who focus on the negativities only, 90% or the 92% or the 88% negativities only in your life, they will go down because they will go for that despondency, grieving. So, here, what is that we are learning? Those who catch hold of the positive things in your life and make use of that and go forward, they will be successful in life. Because majority of the things in your life is full of negativities and challenges and problems. So we should not be deterred by them. Hold on to the positive things and go forward, and you will see you will succeed in your life. After that, you can make use of calamity and convert that into opportunity. That is the speciality of the strength that is within you. Strength, the Atman, the strength of the Atman, Atma Shraddha. So you should have faith in yourself. They will succeed in their life. So here you will see, you are noticing that Lord Krishna is telling about death and death. What is this, Swamiji? Past 3 or 4 classes you are telling about only death and negativity. No. Here Krishna is also speaking about birth too. But see, our mind is only going to the negative things. Though there are so many positive things, general tendency, I think one of the neuroscientists who came here, she was expressing, what is that? Just like the Velcro and that ant, the term is used. What is that? Like a Teflon, the non-sticky material, the positive things, many good things in your life will not stick to your mind. But the negative things, ants, they like this, what do you call, there is this, nowadays instead of the button or the zip, they use Velcro. So it will stick immediately. Likewise, the negative things in your life, quickly they stick onto your mind. So now those people who take up the positive, removing that or converting that negativity, you should not suppress it, but channelize it, converting it and make it, turn it into positivity, they succeed in their life. That's why Krishna is now preparing us for the worst, preparing us for the difficult situation. That's why I told you that we all train ourselves and the children for success, not for failures. So we should train ourselves for failures. The more challenges, the more difficult we face, then we become stronger and stronger. Then no difficulty will be a difficulty for us. That will be just like a hoof, the water in the hoof of a cow. You can just cross it without any difficulty. That's why Lord Krishna, so many ways, is taking us through this aspect of death and showing that and making it so easy. Otherwise, see, now after hearing that slowly that fear of death and all that negativity is going down. We are feeling that now. So let us go forward and study what Lord Krishna wants us to get in our life. Therefore, by these things, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, the logic is that whether it is your body or Bhishma's body or Dronacharya's body or Duryodhana or anybody's body, has to be destroyed. It will die. If you are not satisfied by perception and inference, I gave you that direct perception. So even scriptures are telling the same thing. What are the scriptures telling us about? Clearly, they tell what they say. Yatha iha karmachito lokaha kshiyate evam eva amurtaha punyachito lokaha api kshiyate. Therefore, anything born out of karma. We get this life, we are having this birth and death and happiness and all that problems and challenges, everything, success and failures due to our prarabdha karma. So therefore, anything born out of our karma, whether good karma or bad karma, it will have a beginning and it will have an end. The body is born out of our deed only. We have selected. We have come to this world out of our desire and the work we have done, our karma. Nobody has forced you to do so. You have chosen this. So this karma is like the fuel, oil. When the oil is empty, when the fuel is empty, it goes away, it's depleted, then the lamp will get off. Then the fire is extinguished. Similarly, our life is like this lamp, which is supported by the oil of karma. And every day, this karma, whether good or bad, is getting depleted. So even the difficulties in your life, it cannot be permanent. So also the good things, the happiness in your life is also not permanent. So beautiful, one of the incidences is about the King Solomon. He wanted to ask, please give me something by which I can come out of all that unhappiness. So he told, no, not only that, I will give you something special where it will show something special. What is that? He gave a ring etched with this. Nothing will be permanent for you. So when we read in that, whether you are in this happy situation, it also will be lost. Whether you are in unhappy situation, that also will be gone. So everything is impermanent. That is why you should not worry. Instead, I should prepare myself to insulate myself, to make myself stronger, that I will not be disturbed, elated when I get happiness, nor I get depleted or depressed when there is unhappiness. I can maintain my calm, sthita prajna lakshana. So life is like that lamp which is supported by the oil of karma, and every day this karma is getting depleted, whether you remember or not, whether you want to remember or not. Arjuna, this is a fact. Jatasya mrityuhu dhruvam. Meditate on this fact. What is that? The moment you are born, it is definite that you are going to die. It is dhruvam, definite. Meditate on this fact. Assimilate this fact. What do? Generally, we apply this law to others. We use it for lecturing and telling it to others. Have you noticed? You will be watching TV or newspaper. You will see there was a calamity somewhere, tornado somewhere. You will see some accident somewhere, crash of airplane, or there was a train accident, or there was a war, people are dying. So you will sit in front of the TV on the couch, having tea, munching popcorn or some eatables, food and everything. And the death and everything which is happening there, you will watch as if you are a witness, nothing has happened. Then you will also quote from Bhagavad Gita telling this, the person who is born has to die. So we will quote all these things. Then person who is dead will be born. So why should I worry? But next moment, somebody will tell, this accident has happened very near in Durban itself, very near to you. Then your mind changes. It will not be the same when it was some other country or somewhere else. When it comes to your backyard, your mind changes. You start getting involved in that situation. Then your mind changes. Then you will stop giving up taking tea and enjoying. Then you will start discussing with that. Then the next term is, it has happened very near your house. Your mood changes. Then if somebody is involved from your near one or dear one in the accident or that calamity, then you will not be the same person. So can you then also quote the same Gita this verse and then be in a calm state of mind? You cannot. Then you will be disturbed, you will be in trouble. So here, what is that? Assimilate this fact. Generally, we do not mind applying this law with regard to other people. But we never want to apply this law to ourselves and our immediate surroundings. Anywhere death happens, we are all great philosophers. We will advise people. Then, but what happens to that philosophy? When it happens somewhere around us, that means we have not assimilated this fact. Assimilation of law is applying that law into my life. Assimilation of law is applying that law in my life. As long as I do not do that, it is only unassimilated knowledge. It will be there as knowledge. It will not be transformed into wisdom. That's why there's a difference between man of knowledge and man of wisdom. The man of wisdom has applied that in his life. But a man of knowledge, he has a lot of knowledge, but he has not applied that in his life. So we have to assimilate into our life. As long I have assimilated, then it is wisdom. It is otherwise, it is no more wisdom. Therefore, Lord Krishna is telling us, Jatasya Mrityuhu Dhruvam. Dhruvam means definite. That is why you will find in all the Puranas, in all the stories like Ramayana, Mahabharata, or any other Purana, whichever old stories you take, what happens? The demons, they go sit for austerities, tapasya, for hundreds of years. They will do, taking the name of Brahma and other deities. Then, when the Lord comes and stands in front of them, what do they do after their sincere tapasya? They want to, will they ask for boon? They want to conquer death. They don't want to die. They don't want to give up this body. Then immediately Brahma or other god tell, no, highly impossible. Nobody can be with this body. Ask some other boon. Then very cleverly they want to deceive Lord. They will ask so many varieties of boon that I should not die either in the morning or in the evening, inside or outside, by weapons or by animal or man. All varieties of boon in such a way that nobody should kill him. Hiranyakashipu asked that boon. Then the Lord came in the form of Narasimha, neither man nor animal. He sat on the threshold, neither inside nor outside. It was neither morning nor evening. It was Sandhya. Then with his nails, no weapons, he cut him into pieces and killed him. The demon had to pass away. Why? Instead of using that good knowledge for the welfare of others or the welfare of himself, he used for the destruction of the world. That's why that karma is now bringing the death very quickly to him. So this is the general trend. They try so much to get immortality of this body. Highly impossible. There was one king in the lineage of Raghus or Rama. What was his name? Trishanku. He tried to go to heaven with this body. Whose help did he take? The great Rishi Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra, yes, I will give you with my spiritual power. He sent him with the body to heaven. But the gods there, Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, they threw him down. No, you cannot come to heaven with this body, physical body. Then while he was falling down, reverse like this, then Vishwamitra with his spiritual power, he stopped him there. And in between, he told, you dare to push him down when I have sent him? So I will create one more heaven. I don't want your heaven. I will create one more heaven in between and I will keep him there. So he almost created it. Vishwamitra had so much of power, he created one more heaven. It's called Trishanku Swarga. So that ulta, reverse stage, he was there. So he made him and he created a heaven. Then God said to interfere and tell, no, you cannot do that. It's a new creation cannot be done that. You have to follow the laws of creation. And they pacified Vishwamitra. That is a different thing. Why I am telling this is you cannot be permanently living with this body. So you have to assimilate this fact. So death means giving up the body only. You will not die. So death of other person is also, the body is destroyed. They are not going to be destroyed in reality. So now we have to assimilate this fact. Now going forward, we see that whether it is asuras, demons, or human beings, or any other body for that sake, he is not eternal. Even the avatars, whether it is Lord Krishna or Rama, they too had to give up this body. Only we use a very special term. What is that? Swargavarohana. Or if great sannyasin or saints die, we tell, oh, they got samadhi. No, they too have to give up their body. You cannot have this body. Body will go, whether it is avatara, whether it is human being, whether it is saint, whether it is sinner. So that is the fact. Fact remains the fact. The physical body will go. Everybody's. Therefore, jatasya dhruvo mrutyuhu. But there is other side of the coin. What is that? Then after death, what happens? One who is dead, he has to be reborn again. Death is never the end of the living being. This is unique in our Sanatana Dharma, Hindu religion. In other religions, once you die, it is gone. They have to wait for the day of judgment in the grave or wherever they are. All the people, when the day of judgment comes, God will come, divide the good people and the bad people. All that people who have done good deeds will be put to permanent heaven and permanent hell. No chance for people who have wronged to correct themselves. They have to rot in hellfire. It is not so in our Sanatana Dharma. Multiple choices are given again and again. They may have to undergo purgation, they may have to undergo the punishment, but they are given innumerable opportunities. We, the living beings, whatever sins you might have committed, can improve. There is another life because he has exhausted that karma. Now the punishment is gone. Now he has to be born again. Therefore, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Rebirth is there, certainly for a person who is dead. That is called punar api jananam. Again, punar api maranam. This cycle goes on until your desires are exhausted, until you get intense love for God, until you want to realize your true self. Then when you go on that path, this cycle of death and birth will be going on and on. So now, what is the conclusion? How are we to now take this into our life? The last aspect of this verse is tasmat apariharyete natvam shochitum arhasi. Very, very important line by Lord Krishna. What is that? Apariharyete means a choiceless situation where there is no remedy, incurable situation, remediless situation, that is called apariharye arthe. Now, let us take this as a choiceless situation. So, now this is a choiceless situation. One who has birth has to die. One who is dead has to be reborn. So this is choiceless. So in our life, most of the situation is choiceless. So what is meant by choiceless situation? Even you put in the effort, you cannot change that. That is called choiceless. But there is one thing, a saving factor. By God's grace, by intense willpower, can change any situation. Examples? Yes, many, many examples. Have you not seen Satyavan Savitri? Satyavan was the husband. His life was too short. He was to die. But that great lady, Savitri, She did so much of puja to the Divine Mother, prayed and prayed and prayed. After that intense puja to Mother, Divine Mother, because of the power of spirituality, she could follow Yama, the god of death, and win over Yama himself, the god of death, brought back her husband from death too. So you have read about that Satyavan Savitri story. So by your intense willpower, by the grace of God, you can win over that situation too. But we are not in that intense effort or willpower condition now. So for us ordinary people, what is the way out? So are there any other examples? Yes, Markandeya. He was supposed to die only at the age of 16. By his intense devotion to Lord Shiva, he could win over death, and he is still living as a Chiranjeevi with this body itself, as a youth itself. Anybody else? Yes, Prahalada is still living. Hanuman, by his intense devotion to Ramachandra and service to Ramachandra, is still living with this body, Chiranjeevi. So many are there, Vibhishana. So that intensity should be there, intense will. There is solution to all problems, but we don't have that intensity as of now. So what is the way out? How shall we now take this situation? How can we come out of grieving? How can we come out of sorrow? So there is only one intelligent way out. What is that? Total surrender. Total acceptance. What is that? Accept the choiceless situation. What cannot be cured has to be endured. What cannot be cured has to be endured. Total surrender, total acceptance. Accept the choiceless situation is one of the important lessons of Bhagavad Gita. So accept with, not just simply blindly accept it, but accept with understanding. Accept it with no murmuring, grumbling, crying, no grieving, no sorrowing, and also making other people miserable. No, not that way. But accept everything as it is with maturity, without complaint, without irritation, without getting angry with the whole surrounding of yours. When I do not accept a unchanging or choiceless situation, I become agitated, angry with everyone, with the situation, even with God, even with the planets, and even with the world. So what is that called? It is called non-acceptance. And a person may tell, I love to accept things as they are, but I am not able to accept. What shall I do? I want to, but I am not able to. Then what is the way out? Yeah. The only way out is you cannot change the choiceless situation. So it is not going to change, but I can prepare myself for the difficult situation. Learn to prepare. That is what we are doing by studying Bhagavad Gita. Lord is preparing us for the worst situation. Prepare, prepare, learn to prepare. What is learning? First, assimilate the fact. By thinking on that, meditating on that fact, by dwelling on that fact, assimilate, and in addition, take the help of devotion to Lord. After all, according to Vedanta, who is God? The Lord is nothing but your own higher potential, who is living within you. Your higher power is not sitting there in the 9th cloud or 8th cloud, somewhere away far from you. He is your indweller. He is more nearer to you than your father and mother, your own body, your own mind. He is the indweller. So devotion to the Lord. So according to Vedanta, God is but your own higher potential or power. Parashakti, Paraprakriti. By praying to him intensely, I can tap my own immune system, psychological immune system, emotional immune system, by wisdom, by surrender, the inner power, my own inner potential, we have to tap. Therefore, by wisdom and surrender, by assimilation and surrender, strengthening the mind so that you can accept all choiceless situation. If you study the life of any individual, your own life, you will find majority of the situation is choiceless situation. I will take you through one story which will show you how to have this surrender, how to get that idea of acceptance and surrender. There was a bird. It lived in a desert, very sick. It did not have feathers, nothing there in the desert to eat and drink, no shelter, sun, hot sun everywhere. So it didn't have any shelter to live in, and it kept on cursing its bad life day and night. One day, a dove was passing by. So this sick, unhappy bird stopped the dove and inquired, "Where are you going?" Dove replied, "I'm going to heaven." So the sick bird said, "Please find out for me, when will my suffering end?" The dove said, "Surely I will find out from God when I go to heaven. When will your suffering is going to end?" It bid goodbye to that sick bird. The dove reached heaven and shared the message of the sick bird with the angel there. And then the dove told the angel the pathetic condition of the sick bird and inquired, "When will the suffering of the sick bird is going to end?" Angel replied, "After the next 7 years of its life, the bird, it has to suffer like this, no happiness at all. It has to suffer like this for 7 more years." The dove said, when the sick bird hears this, he will get disheartened. "Oh God, can you suggest any solution for this problem for that bird?" Now God replied, "Tell him to recite this verse." What is that? The verse which that bird has to recite is, "Thank you, God, for everything." The dove, on meeting the sick bird again, delivered the message of the angel. After 7 days, the dove was passing again, not 7 years, after 7 days, the dove was passing again the same way and saw the same bird, but it was very happy. Its feather grew. A small plant grew up in the desert area. A small pond of water was also there. The bird was singing and dancing cheerfully. The dove was astonished as to how it had happened. Now, God had said that there would be no happiness for the bird for the next 7 years. With this question in mind, dove went to visit the angel at heaven's gate. The dove put forth this query to the Lord. Now the Lord replied, "Yes, it is true that there was no happiness for the bird for next 7 years. But because the bird was reciting the verse, 'Thank you, God, for everything,' in every situation, in its difficult situation, in its sorrow, everything, the bird started thanking God. Now, situation changed. When the bird fell down in the hot sand, said, 'Thank you, God, for everything.' When it could not fly, it said, "Thank you, God, for everything." When it was thirsty in the desert, there was no water around it, it said, "Thank you, God, for everything." Whatever the situation, the bird kept on repeating, "Thank you, God, for everything." And therefore, 7 years, God dissolved into 7 days. When this dove heard this story, and it went on telling. So the people who heard this story, they felt a tremendous shift in their way of feeling, thinking, accepting, and weaving their life. They adopted this verse in their life. Whatever the situation they faced, they started reciting this wonderful verse. Thank you, God, for everything. It helped them to shift their weave from what they did not have. From what they did not have in life to what they have in life. For instance, if they had headache, thank God that the rest of my body is completely fine and healthy. And they notice that the headache does not bother them at all. The same manner, they started using this verse in any relationship, whether family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, financial, social life, business, and everything with which they could relate. They shared the story with everyone they came in touch with. It brought a great shift in their behavior too. This simple verse really has a deep impact on everybody's life. They started feeling how blessed they are, how blessed I am, how good life is. The purpose of sharing this message is to make all of us aware of how powerful the attitude of gratitude. How powerful is the attitude of gratitude is. It can reshape our life. A simple word, a simple thought, which teaches us to be grateful for everything and what we have in our life, has the power to dissolve the bad baggage, the bad karmas which we are carrying around with us all the day of our life. Let's recite this verse continuously to experience the shift of attitude in our life. So let us be grateful to see the change in your attitude. Be humble. Surrender to God. So this is true surrender. This is real surrender. So if you change, now whatever might be the choiceless situation, yes, a lot of choiceless situation in our life, but if you change your attitude, then you can change your life. So now let us see how choiceless is our situation. You cannot change your parentage. You cannot choose who your father and mother can be. You cannot change your date of birth. You cannot change the place of birth, your skin color, your community you are born in, your education, your family, your wife, your husband. You cannot change at all. You cannot change your children. So, most of the situation in your life you see it is choiceless, remediless. So, now how by changing the attitude I can insulate this choiceless situation and convert it into a situation of choice where I can be happy, where I can be not troubled by this. So that is, we should learn to accept whatever has happened in the past, whatever damages it might have been done to our mind. Accept the situation, accept people as they are. Do not expect people as what they should be according to you, whether people or situation. Learn to accept people and situation as they are. Do not expect people to be as they should be, just the way you like. So all problems starts there. Now, the past is gone, choiceless. You cannot change it. What about the present? Only some portion of the present is in your hand. What is that? Now you are in the middle of this class. Can you change the fact? You cannot. You are in the class now. So you cannot change. You don't have the choice. But next time, you have the choice. Future, you have the choice. You need not come to the class if you want. You have the choice. See, everything you see, most of the situation is choiceless. So you see, past, 1/3 of your life is gone. Present, to some extent, you have choice. Then future, again, by the present work you do, by the present attitude, you can change your future. Future you do not know. Present, to some extent, you have the choice. Past is not in your hand. Then how can I change my future? How can I insulate myself in the present? Yes, by changing my attitude. That's why Lord Krishna is preparing you through all these verses. With all this knowledge, we can strengthen ourselves, we can prepare ourselves for the present and for the future. So now, tasmat apariharyete. Now, with this choiceless situation, where there is no choice, where there is only small part of the future we have the choice, whether to eat in the night or whether to eat or drink in the night, again, you have little choice. Therefore, whatever available you have to take that. So accept the situation. That is what Krishna is telling. Tasmat apariharyete. Accept everything gracefully. Accept the choiceless. And there are certain situations which we can alter with the help of grace of God and also our free will and our change in attitude. I've given you many examples. So with wonderful this verse, we can see that anything can be changed by our attitude. Attitude of gratitude. By the grace of God, you can change anything. So now I will take you through one more incident. How can we change our attitude? What is that beautiful story? It is a little humorous story too. How can we change our attitude? Because all the time too serious things will make you a little bored. I will take you through a special thing where how can we change our attitude. A beautiful talk by one CEO of a company, Sundar Pichai. He was a IIT MIT alumnus. He is now the global head of Google Chrome. He has put forth one theory. What is that theory? Cockroach theory of self-development. And what is that? At a restaurant, this Sundar Pichai, the CEO, was sipping a cup of coffee. Suddenly, a cockroach flew from somewhere and it sat on the body of a lady who was also taking coffee. What is the result? Common result, you know. If the cockroach comes and sits on some lady, what will happen? Shrieking, shouting, it's common. No? And she started screaming out of fear. With a panic-stricken face and trembling voice, she started jumping with both her hands, desperately trying to get rid of the cockroach. Her reaction was contagious because there was some more friend of us, other woman sitting there. Now that cockroach jumped from her because of her reaction to another woman. Same shrieking and shouting. So that reaction was contagious. Everyone in her group also got panicky. The lady finally managed to push the cockroach away, but it landed on another lady in that group. Now it was the turn of the other lady in the group to continue the drama. Now the waiter was watching as a witness. He rushed forward to their rescue. In the relay of throwing that cockroach, it next fell upon the waiter. And I'm telling this wonderful cockroach theory of personality development. I just remember one more story. What is that? A husband saw the cockroach there, wanted to kill it. He went to crush it. Immediately the cockroach stood up and told, "Stop." Why should I stop? Because you are trying to kill me, because you are jealous of me. Husband told, "Why should I be jealous of you?" Because you are jealous of me. I can frighten your wife, you cannot. That's why you are jealous of me. You want to kill me. So that is a different story. Now, the waiter rushed forward to their rescue. In the relay of throwing the cockroach, it next fell upon the waiter. The waiter stood firm, composed himself, and observed the behavior of the cockroach on his shirt. When he was confident enough, he grabbed it with his fingers and slowly he threw it out of the restaurant. Now, all this is being watched as a witness by this CEO, Sundar Pichai. Sipping my coffee, watching the amusement, the antenna of my mind picked up a few thoughts and started wondering, was the cockroach responsible for their histrionic behavior? If so, why was the waiter not disturbed? He handled it near to perfection without any chaos. It is not the cockroach, but the inability of the people to handle the disturbance. It is the inability of ours to handle the situation, difficulties. The worst thing is death or whatever difficulties in our life is causing the bad situation. So Sundar Pichai is just thinking it is the inability of the people to handle the disturbance caused by the cockroach that disturbed the ladies. I realized that it is not the shouting of my father. Now these are the words of Sundar Pichai. It's not the shouting of my father or my boss or my wife or my colleagues or my husband that disturbs me, but it is my inability to handle the disturbances caused by their shouting that really disturbs me. So, what Lord Krishna has taught here is, how can you make yourself able to handle this situation? It is not the traffic jam on the road that disturbs me, but my inability to handle the disturbance caused by the traffic jam that disturbs me. More than the problem, it is my reaction to the problem that creates chaos in my life. Lesson learned from this story, I understood Sundar Pichai is telling, I should not react to life. I should always respond. There is an ocean of difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is always impulsive. You don't think, you don't give thought. Just you do things impulsive, just like animals. But response is well thought of. So we should not react to the situations into the life. That's why we are in this mode of panic. You should always respond. The woman there reacted, whereas the waiter responded. Somebody's phone is ringing from that time constantly. Can you please put off that phone, please? Constantly the phone is ringing. Reactions are always instinctive, whereas responses are always well thought of. A beautiful way to understand life. Persons who are happy is not because everything is right in their life. That person is happy because his attitude towards the life, everything in his life is right. Now, I wanted to take you through another beautiful story about the attitude of life. Before that, we shall now go to study the next verse, the 28th verse. So, while we study this a little, then I will take you through that beautiful another story, how to change our attitude in our life. Attitude, the right attitude of gratitude. So that can change our life so nicely. The 28th verse of the second chapter is Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatraka paridevana. See, yet in this verse too, Krishna is telling, why do you lament? Why do you worry? You should not worry. So see, from so many verses, Krishna is again and again and telling, you should not worry, you should not grieve, you should not lament. Even in this verse, he is telling, Tatraka paridevana. Why do you worry about this? Let us chant this verse. Avyaktadini bhutani Avyaktadini bhutani Vyaktamadhyani bharata Vyaktamadhyani bharata Avyaktanidhananyeva Avyaktanidhananyeva Tatraka paridevana Tatraka paridevana. Here in this verse, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, Avyakta adini. Before birth, you are not seen, unmanifest. Bhutani, living beings, created beings. Vyakta, manifest or seen. Madhyani, in between, in the middle. O Bharata, Arjuna, scion of Bharata. Avyakta, unmanifest, it is not seen. Nidhanani, on death. Eva, indeed. Therefore, Tatra Kaparidevana. Why are you grieving? Can you please put off that phone? Somebody's phone is constantly ringing. This 28th verse, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, O scion of Bharata, all created beings are unmanifest or not seen before birth. They become manifest after they are born. Again, they become unmanifest, that is unseen, on death. So, why should you grieve over that? Now, we have seen Sri Krishna dispelled the cause of lamentation or grieving in respect to the soul in verse 20. And in respect to the body, verse 27. Now, in this verse, we include both the body and the soul in this verse. Haven't we heard in the Bhagavata, sage Narada instructed Yudhishthira, the elder of the Pandava, in similar lines? In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Maharshi is telling Yudhishthira, the elder of the Pandavas, Yan Anyase Dhruvam Lokam Adhruvam Va Na Chobhayam Sarvatha Nahi Shochyaste Snehad Anyatra Mohajat. Whether you consider the personality to be an eternal soul or to be a temporary body, or even if you accept it as an inconceivable mixture of soul and body, should not lament or grieve or worry in any way. The cause for lamentation is only due to attachment. How does the attachment arise? Due to illusion, ignorance. In the material realm, each individual soul is bound by these bodies, three bodies, that is, the gross body, subtle body, and the causal body. So, all that we have studied, let us not go deeper into that. As I told you, that I will take you through, because in the next class we can go to the details of this verse. But I had promised you that I will take you through one beautiful thing, that is how to change your attitude. A man has gone out of his town. He comes back and finds that his beautiful, very big, costly house is on fire. Just like beautiful body which we have brought up until now, it gets destroyed with disease and everything. Like that, the beautiful house he had built, very big house, it is on fire. It was one of the most beautiful houses in the town. And that man loved that house the most. Many people were ready to give double price for the house. But he had never agreed for any price, and now it is just burning before his eyes. Thousands of people of the town gathered, but nothing could be done. The fire had spread so far that even if you tried to put it out, nothing could be saved. So, this person, the owner, becomes very sad. He started crying, lamenting, shouting, grieving. His son comes running and whispers something in his ears. Father, don't be worried. I have sold the house yesterday. And that too at a very good price, three times the price. The offer was so good, I could not wait for you. Please forgive me, Father. It is already sold. Now the father was grieving, was crying, lamenting. Suddenly everything changed. Thank God, the house is not ours. Father relaxed and became a silent witness. Amongst these 1,000 people, he too became one person who was watching it, and a smile came upon his face looking at his own house which is being burnt. Now, please understand, the same house, the same father, please think about it. Just a moment before, he was not a witness, he was attached to that house. It is the same house, the same fire. Everything is the same. He is not at all concerned, he is not at all grieved. In fact, he started enjoying the fire, just as everybody else in the crowd. Maybe it was winter and he was also taking the heat of the fire to warm up himself. Now it was the turn of the second son to come running, and he shouted at the father, "Dad, what are you doing? You are smiling and enjoying the fire of our own house. Our house is on fire." The father said to the second son, "Do not worry, my son. Your other brother has sold it for 3 times the price." "Oh, Dad, we have only taken the advance. We have not settled the sales fully." "I doubt now, since the house is burnt, that man who has paid the advance is going to purchase it now. If only advance is given and the agreement is not done, they need not even, because you may have to return the advance too, and house is not his, you will not get the full money." Now again everything changed. His tears, which had disappeared on his smiling face, came back to the father's eyes. His smile is no more there. His heart is beating fast. The witness is gone. He is again attached to his house. He's crying and wailing and wailing. And again, now it was the turn of the third son to come back to this wailing and shouting father. He said, "Father, I had been to that owner who gave us the advance. He told it doesn't matter whether the house is burnt or not. It is mine because I'm going to pay the full price I have settled for, because neither you knew or I knew that the house would catch on fire. I am a man of word. I'm not going to go back on my words. I'm going to give you the full amount," is the reply of the owner. When this news came back to him, again the joy is back. The whole family became the witness, the watchers. The attachment is no more there. Actually, now did anything change here? Nothing is changing. The feeling, the attitude that I am the owner of the house, I am not the owner of the house, makes the whole difference. The moment you get attached to that house or your body, when something happens to that house, because you are attached to that, you have identified yourself instead of your soul or God, you are identifying with that. Now sorrow sets in. The moment he heard that house doesn't belong to him, the attachment is gone, and now he is no more lamenting. So everything is happening with your thought. It is just a thought. It is just the attitude. So do you have to pay any money for the change in attitude? Is it costly? It's free of cost. And Lord Krishna is giving this wonderful attitude, this idea, free of cost, in abundance. So what is that we have to do to make our life happy and untouched by these sorrows and insulate from all the difficulties? Is take these words, take this beautiful knowledge given by Lord Krishna and assimilate it. Change your attitude. So with that small change, which is so free of cost, can change everything. Everything starts with a thought. Most of the thoughts you are having now are not yours. It has come from your parents, your teachers, your friends, books, movies, television, newspapers, politicians. Just count how many thoughts are yours, your own. Be surprised that not a single thought is your own. All are from other sources, all borrowed, either dumped upon you by the society, foolishly dumped by, and also by yourself, upon yourself. Nothing is yours. So now Krishna is giving you this wonderful, very needful thought to assimilate it. Tasmat apariharyete, choiceless situation, accept it with gratitude, accept without murmur. Change your attitude and see how your life changes. Even death cannot frighten you. Then any worst of the situation in your life cannot trouble you. That's what now by studying this Bhagavad Gita, assimilating these wonderful ideas given by Lord Krishna, meditating on that, thinking on that every time, every day, and prepare for the battle of your life. When somebody asks Swami Vivekananda, please explain or define what is life. Beautiful explanation given by Swami Vivekananda was in one sentence: life is a constant fight with nature, internal and external. Life is a constant fight with nature, internal, your own internal mind, and external situations, whether people or situations. Life is a constant fight between situations or environment, internal and external. The moment you stop fighting, that is death. Explanation of life by Swami Vivekananda. Life is a constant fight between nature, internal and external. The moment you stop fighting, you're fighting to change your attitude. Fighting to remove all the thoughts dumped by the society on you. You have been hypnotized by these thoughts. So if you change the thought, change your attitude, then you will change and this constant fight will go on. So these thoughts given by Lord Krishna here will make us battle ready to fight all the situation in our life and win the situation. No thoughts coming and no attitude, bad attitude can trouble us. So we shall carefully study these wonderful teachings of Bhagavad Gita and prepare ourselves, changing our attitude to everything in our life. And we can, in a smiling way, joyful way, we can face any vicissitudes, any situation in your life, you can face it boldly, without any trouble, without any lamentation. See all these 6 verses, everywhere Krishna is telling, do not grieve. You are not worthy to grieve. You have the authority. Do not lament. Do not be in despondency again and again. So, should think on that again and again and assimilate it and enjoy our life. Shall continue this thinking further. Should not forget all these things. These are wonderful ideas given by Lord Krishna. So, put it into maximum use in life. Go on studying other beautiful, still more wonderful ideas. Lord Krishna will be preparing us to strengthen us. Let us study that in future. Now, we will end with one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.